Hey guys, so we're here today with NCG. Obviously, this afternoon, Pokemon dropped the bombshell on us that rotation for 2019 to 2020 is going to be before Worlds, and it takes out a whole big bunch of sets. So we've got Carl on with us today, and he's just going to come and join us to kind of have a look at what we're going to lose and what we can look forward to going into the future. So what we're going to do super quick is move on to the Sun and Moon base set. Carl, do you want to say a little bit about these ones?
Yeah, so obviously we're losing our first sort of our flagship Sun and Moon set, as it were, our very first sort of introduction to Sun and Moon. Some really strong cards that we're going to be losing there. Obviously, the biggest one that's going to sort of hit a lot of people there is the Yellow and Muck, which has sort of been our saving grace this format against a lot of the sort of overpowered big basic decks, namely those ridiculous Jirachis and God, there's so much stuff going on with this deck. Just Muck is just so good. The fact that we're losing it is just going to pose such an issue.
Yeah, definitely. I think for me as well, two cards that I really played a lot when I first started the game were the Vikabulu deck. So losing Vikavolt's obviously a bit of a sad one for me, and same with the Decidueye. That was kind of the first GX Pokemon I played around with, so that's kind of I'll miss that one going as well.
I imagine the Lapras is probably going to upset you slightly.
Well, yeah, the Lapras upsets me a lot actually, but I guess I never really played that one as competitively as a deck as I probably could have done. I just like collecting those.
The Oranguru is another big one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
the Oranguru is another big one as well, which is just a really strong card. So it's tough to see some of these go. Hopefully, we get some similar things back, but
Yeah,
we'll wait and see.
this was kind of the sort of smaller alternative to the auxiliary, wasn't it? So the basic
Yeah.
draw to 3 instead of draw to 5. I think the Eevee is also worth noting because a lot of people thought that was going to survive because of the McDonald's promos.
Yeah,
Um,
changing the rules on that is quite a new one.
yeah, so for
It's
those
got to
that
happen. It's got to happen.
yeah, so for those guys that don't know, the McDonald's promos now are going to rotate alongside their set counterparts, if you like. So the McDonald's promo Eevee is not going to save this one, unfortunately.
But the Magnemite will.
The Magnemite will, because that was
Yes,
a little bit
because it was
later,
an
wasn't it?
Ultra
It was
Prism.
Ultra Prism, yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll have a look at the trainer cards here. I know two big ones that a lot of people have sort of cheered about a little bit are the DCE going and the Ultra Ball going. What are your thoughts on those, Carl?
Yeah, look, they always come sort of in and out. Ultra Ball has been around since 2012. It came out in Dark Explorers.
Yeah.
It made an impact as a four of. As soon as it was printed, it was a four of, which is just great. And obviously, Double Color Synergy has been around since sort of base set, and then sort of came in and out. Came sort of back in at Hot Gold Silver, and then sort of sort of left a bit, didn't it? And then obviously it's come back in now at Sun and Moon, and it's just nuts. Like the card is insane.
Yeah, I
But
think it's going to be...
if it's time to go, it's time to go. But we will be getting some new special energy soon, according to the to some of the articles. So if we get two new special energy, who knows? We might get quadruple colorless energy
Yeah,
that can be attached to anything. It'd be great fun.
yeah. I mean, we already know we're getting the triple acceleration energy or whatever it's called, but obviously that's a use for a turn then discard it, so not quite the same as
It's
the
also
DC.
evolutions only.
Ah, okay, yeah, it
It's
is.
also,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
also evolutions only.
That's a very good point. Yeah, yeah. I'd forgot about that actually. Yeah,
So it's going to be interesting. Obviously, Skull Grunt there is obviously another big one as well as Kikui. Another damage Marauders that we're going to be losing as well. And obviously Nest Balls there are insane. So all the ball cards are good.
yeah.
And it's upsetting to sort of see a lot of these go because
It's
they're all consistency cards.
be interesting to see if any of those balls get the reprint or get
Mm.
get a return somewhere down
We
the
need to
line.
get something right.
Yeah,
I don't
definitely.
think they can not give us some sort of search because that Ultra was just such a good card. We might get us another set. Obviously, we've got Pokemon Communication back, but it
Treasure's
requires you to
still
have
in.
sort of specific cards in hand.
Treasure's still in, but you can only get Psychic Dragon. And the
Well,
others we've...
with the amount of Ultra Necrozma that will be around, I'm sure it'll be enough.
Yeah, definitely. So let's go on to the Guardians Rising cards now. This is obviously a pretty big set. The Tapu Lele GX card that we're going to be missing with that Super Crutch Wonder Tag ability. That a lot of people have... This was a 4 of for a while in most decks. It's dropped a little bit recently to maybe a 1 or 2 of, but still like a super important card for the format, right?
Yeah, for sure. there's three cards there that really are going to sort of point out of obviously two of the three biggest decks at the moment. Obviously, Tapu Lele is the big one. That Lycan Rock GX again is just insane. It didn't pick up too much play when it first came out, but sort of when they sort of started partnering it with Zoroark, obviously it became amazing. And the big one there again is obviously Tapu Koko GX.
Yeah, Coco being part of the Thunder Buddies decks and the Zapdos decks at the moment.
Yeah, it's also a reliable out to Pikachu that we're now not going to have anymore.
Yeah, definitely, like mirror matches and things, yeah.
Yeah, the rest of the cards on there are just sort of, they're coming out. So the Beacon is very good from that ball picks. The Metagross could be good if there's a lot of Gardevoir in the format, particularly with the new GX that's coming out. Obviously, shuffling the hand away is pretty good.
Yeah.
And obviously the Garbodor there is to punish your opponent for playing trainer cards. It's dropped off the sort of the scene currently, but it's still just a phenomenal card.
Worth noting that there's going to be a few people out there that are going to miss the Sylveon GX as well for the stall archetypes and the nil archetypes. I mean, I'm not I'm not one of those people, but I know there are some that are definitely going to miss that.
Friends will be holding a candle up, Hampus there with a candle for Sylveon, just sitting there. Just don't go, please, baby. I'll change.
Yeah, definitely. So the items as well from this set were all pretty important. There's things like the Rescue Stretcher for getting things back. Obviously, once we lost Super Rod, Rescue Stretcher came in to fill that hole a little bit. Same with things like the Choice Band. Once we'd lost the Muscle Band, Choice Band came in to fill a little hole there. So there's a few cards here that I think we're going to miss as well.
Yeah, we've got the last set. We're still waiting to see the scans from the last set. That's going to be a big indication of what's coming back out.
Yeah,
I imagine we'll probably get something similar to Stretcher.
Yeah,
obviously we've got energy recycle system now. Yeah, so I imagine it's going to be something Pokemon, because Brock's Grit just isn't good enough. Like as a supporter,
yeah,
it's just not right. There needs to be someone that's doing it sort of properly. But then again, just easy recovery doesn't insight skill.
No.
So,
I mean, it's the same with things like Field Blower as well. There's so many tools running around at the moment that Field Blowers might see a replacement somewhere along the line with something.
Yeah, they gave it a Farfetch, didn't they? They turned it into an attack.
Yeah.
Which conveniently one-shots a Jirachi. So, yeah. But we'll see what they sort of tend to bring out. Obviously, they've given us Faber. Again, it's a supporter, so they're either trying to slow the game down dramatically or just taking away the good cards.
Yeah. And I mean, Max Potion as well. Max Potion's gonna go by the looks of things at the moment, so it'd be interesting to see whether that comes back or whether we just get like a weaker version.
Yeah, they've hit all the good ones. Obviously, these cards were going to go anyway. It's not like they've targeted these sort of
no, not
cards.
at all. These
sets were going to rotate anyway.
Yeah.
But it's now just because it's before Worlds, it adds that much sort of more of a dimension to Worlds. That okay, we've got all these weird and wonderful ideas that we could really abuse with Zoroark mainly, with the sort of the new Stamp card and the Rockets card, and obviously Pokemon have obviously identified this and gone, you know what, look, we need to fix this before the issue arise.
Definitely, absolutely, totally agree with you there. On to Burning Shadows then. This was the Worlds format, or Worlds set, sorry, a couple of years ago. This was kind of when I first started getting in, really started sort of being competitive in the game when this set dropped. Worth mentioning that Gardevoir did win Worlds as well that year. So,
yeah, and obviously the Velocipede got second, didn't it? So
yeah, that made the final.
So some really sort of obviously like Necrozma GX obviously made the finals last year as well. So there's a good amount of stuff here that is Worlds, obviously like Worlds level.
Yeah.
Obviously, I know Ho-Oh went on a bit of a rampage that year as well.
Yeah.
Purely because there was loads of Decidueye, and sort of people just turned it with Salazzle Ho-Oh and just run through them.
Yeah. Speaking of the Salazzle as well, the Charizard Reshiram decks that were looking to play Salazzles as well.
Yeah, the Salazzle GX is just a powerhouse, isn't it? And
bonkers end game card, isn't it?
For sure.
Yeah.
Obviously, the big one to go is that Vileplume, because it means there's going to be no sort of. There'll still be some sort of cheesy deck at Worlds. There always is.
Yeah.
But now it's not going to be some insanely consistent Vileplume deck that just shuts off.
Yeah.
Okay, you can't play the game because I'm playing this.
The Vileplume did well recently at, was it Collinsville Regionals and Cairns? It had a couple of people looking to play it to counter the Blounds and Pika Rom decks and Zapdos decks.
So it's nuts, isn't it? Like,
yeah,
the people But the people that play this, they never win in the tournament. They're just there to try and chase a few games.
Yeah, and the Raichu, I put the Raichu on there as well because the Raichu Shock Lock deck, that used to intrigue me quite a lot. I don't think I ever really played it to any particular level, but it always seemed an intriguing deck to me.
It was more pre-rotation, wasn't it? I know it made a showing at London 2017.
Yeah.
Made a showing then. Being that it just sort of constantly looped with that Terminator, but it sort of hasn't in place since we've lost. Was it the Evolution Spray?
Yeah.
So
yeah. I mean,
but it's still a fun card.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, like you say, not big now, but once was. So.
And obviously that Marshadow GX is going as a Malamar player. That's just huge.
Yeah, definitely.
Because there goes your out to Pikachu.
Absolutely, definitely. So the big one on this page, the trainer cards here, is this Guzma that's going to go and not be around for Worlds.
Yeah, that's a tough one. It just means our only switching card now is Custom Catcher.
Yeah, for gusting effects.
Yeah, so the next they'll release the gusting effect. I don't think I've ever played a format where there's not been one.
No.
There's always been a gust effect, even like the old days of just Pokemon Catcher without the coin flip.
Yeah. I mean, whether we end up with something back like that, but with the sort of Lysander supporter role, but under a new name.
That'd be nice.
Just
take they might actually wait until the new sort of Sun and Moon drops. There might be the antagonist for that genre. Might get their own sort of card similar to that because they tend to
Shield and Sword. You mean?
Sets. Yeah, that one. Yeah. So there'll be some sort of antagonist that's in that gets like their Gizmo or Lysander, which they follow suit.
Yeah.
And obviously all their sort of support and their Goonies, don't they? It's just sort of their support cards.
Yeah, like the Skull Grunts and things. And the
Plumeria, that's a good example,
well.
Yeah. So just wait and see. Obviously, Ace Roller going is big.
Yeah. I was going to come on to that next. That's a big card.
It'd be nice to get some more pick up as well.
Yeah. And I mean, again, the year this set came out, that God of War Glisopod final, that Ace Roller saw a lot of play on both sides of that final.
Yeah, for sure. It's pretty nuts.
Yeah, just preserving board state. And I know one we talked about previously, or sort of this afternoon, was the Kiawe as well, going just as all the fire support comes out, we lose the big turn 1 Lele Kiawe.
Yeah, and admittedly that probably needed to happen when you think about it.
Yeah,
How consistently can you like welder with the 2 fire energy in hand and your attachment, and then your attachment the following turn to kill something, where you can just go turn 1 Kiawe and then just start killing things?
Yeah.
So that probably needed to happen, in all honesty.
Yeah. And then just other cards here that we've that have seen a bit of play. Dumbbells in the recent sort of Zoroark control decks, just to buff them a little bit more. An Escape Rope, obviously big in Zapdos Jirachi builds at the moment for getting that damage.
Come Worlds, that deck is just unplayable.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, like they've lost Nestball, they've lost Tapu Koko, they've lost Escape Rope, they've lost Kuzma, and that deck just goes. That's just unplayable.
Yeah.
Come Worlds.
Which is a big surprise because that's kind of been the big hype deck recently, hasn't it? So the fact that won't see a showing at Worlds, I think it's quite a big surprise. I think it's quite sad, really.
Yeah, I can get that. I can get behind that. There's a lot of sort of changing it. It's good that they gave us more than enough notice. Not more on the Masters side, but more for the juniors and seniors.
Yeah.
Like I can imagine if you was the father of a junior or a senior, and you found out this news a few weeks before Worlds, you'd be absolutely furious because your child has been putting in so much effort and so much planning into certain sort of archetypes and certain decks, and they're planning and playing.
I think just the cost as well behind some of these cards as well.
Yeah, like the cards are getting expensive, but Pokemon's never been a particularly like expensive game.
Yeah.
But over the last few years, it's gone up.
Yeah.
Insanely amounts. Like Shaman, I think was the first card that sort of really sort of pushed the boat out.
Yeah.
With the price wise. This Dene is going to sort of follow suit as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, ones that we've had recently, like the Jirachi recently, that absolutely shot through the roof, didn't it? Price wise.
Yeah, like £17 for a holo. That's insane.
Yeah, it's stupid money. Yeah,
like,
and I mean, I was lucky enough to pick up a staff promo one at my at the place I TO, and like I looked at the price of those the other day, and they are just silly money.
Astronomical. Yeah, I think they're priced up like 170 or something ridiculous.
Yeah, absolutely ridiculous. Anyway, on to the Crimson Invasion. I didn't really like this set. I don't know about you. I thought it was a bit of a stopgap kind of set. And to be honest, I just struggled to find.
All I know is
8 Pokemon to put on this slide.
Yeah. All I know is I won a box at the London Internationals. I opened it and I was like, this is like, apart from a Super Rare Water Energy, I was like, this is probably the worst set I've ever opened.
Absolutely.
I was loving my Super Rare Water Energy, but every other card in the set was just like, this is just trash.
Yeah. I mean, Buzzwall's one that kind of I really enjoyed playing the Buzzwall Lycanroc deck for a long time. So that's one I'll miss personally. But other than that, there's not a lot I'd be... Regigigas going, I'm quite happy about. No more Stall
Yeah, the
Walls.
Magikarp is something. It just means that the old... the new Gyarados is going to struggle against, obviously, Jolteon.
Yeah.
Obviously, the Magikarp kept you in the game, but now, obviously, without that, it's going to be a little bit harder.
Although there's
the Miltank going with all the new fire support.
Jolteon, though. We also lose the Eevee, don't forget.
Yeah, so it has to be down for a turn, doesn't it? So you've got the opportunity to, if it gets some sort of gust effect, we can try and kill it.
Yeah.
The Miltank going is kind of big, because I know there's that fire deck that did really well recently, where you could heal like a stupid amount of damage from it if you just like had like Escape Rope and then Welder, you were throwing in like 180 and you're attaching for turn, healing another 90. And it's just like, oh, okay, seems fair.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, everyone's favourite memes on here as well, the Guzzlord GX. The Guzzlord 39 energy pre-release decks that were running around.
And just lost horribly to like any...
fighting deck.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, I remember going 2-0 playing Buzzwall 39 energy against, and I paired two people that played the Guzzlord 39 energies. And I paired them round 1 and 2. I just went attach, yeah, win.
Yeah,
so, yeah, GG, sir. And then again, trainers for this set, there wasn't really a lot that I could pick up. The Gladion was always an interesting effect for me. I always thought that was quite a little niche effect.
Yeah, but switching your prizes is quite good. Obviously, we have the Mr. Mime now for that.
Yeah.
To sort of give you some effect. Stadium and obviously damage modifier, we've now got the new Fighting Stadium.
Yeah.
Which is good. Obviously, Counter Catcher is great. Obviously, we're now getting that Lieutenant Surge, which is obviously giving us an effect when we are behind, which is okay.
Yeah.
But there's not a gust effect, which is a little bit upsetting. And obviously, Counter Energy going means, and obviously, we're getting more special energy, so we might get something that sort of gives us a similar effect.
As you said, there's a few more to be announced, isn't there, for the Unified Mindset? So.
Yeah. So this might completely change. We might get a lot of these as reprints. And,
absolutely.
It could just be the case of like, brilliant, fantastic, let's keep a lot of them, but then it might just be a case of, no, they need to go.
Yeah. And then the kind of the big one, really. This is the one that people have been wanting for a while, isn't it? This is what everyone's been calling for on the Verbank and Fonte pages. Zoroark GX. He's gone.
It's going to be
he's
so
gone.
upsetting when that card goes. It's so good. Like every card on this page is good.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
At some point, I've played every single card on this page. There's been in a deck at one point that I have played.
Yeah, I'd agree with that as well, actually, yeah. Yeah, definitely.
I've played Zoroark, I've played Marshadow, I've definitely played Mewtwo in Necrozma.
Malamar, yeah.
I've definitely played Hooper in that Yveltal deck. I've played the Venusaur Shining Legend. Latios was in like every one of my Malamar decks for, I think it was like 2 quarters this season. Reiku, when I first started playing the Jolteon deck, and then obviously Shining Arceus was in my South American Internationals deck when I was playing Mali Spread.
Yeah.
So yeah, I played every single card on this list, and they're all fantastic.
I think this set kind of, other than the Zoroark, it kind of slid under the radar a little bit when it first dropped, but then people really found
even the Zoroark slid under the radar, didn't it? Everyone was just like, "Nah, Zoroark's terrible. It's not very good."
Well,
and you just watched Tord just like pull a win, and everyone's like, "Oh my god, the card's fantastic."
Yeah, I mean, since then, Tord kind of led with it, didn't he? He started the Glisopod Zoroark archetype. Then we saw the Gardevoir archetype that he played. Was that the Brazil internationals he played, Latam internationals that year?
Australia.
Australia. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he played that with the Gardevoir, and then we saw it with the Lycanroc, and yeah, it's just been a card that's sort of never really died. It's just evolved with the formats.
Yeah, it's just so good. It's just drawing cards is good.
And I mean,
like drawing cards means you don't have to be skillful. You can just draw cards.
yeah, you like more options, more outs, more everything, really, isn't it? So, and I mean, even like Phil Schultz at the Harrogate regionals, playing it with the Gyarados.
So it just shows you can just play anything with Zoroark.
Play anything with Zoroark and it works.
Yeah.
And then the other big one, obviously, is the Let Loose Marshadow. People
that
have
needed to
been
go.
massively each side of the fence on this one. Some love it, some hate it.
I've never wanted it to go. Like, I've never ever drawn bad off of a Let Loose, ever.
Yeah.
Until I think it's one testing game this week where I got Let Loose into just 4 unplayable cards. And I'm just like, I'm not funny, this card needs banning. I didn't have a problem with it until
that one.
Because I'm like, oh yeah, please bench it, I'll kill it. So it's a free prize whenever I want it. And then it's just a case of whenever I did draw dead with it, it's just okay, no, card needs banning.
Yeah, I remember I got super tilted recently at a challenge playing Pika Rom, and I let loose myself into 4 electric energy, and I think I just scooped the round and walked off.
Oh god, yeah, it's one of those, isn't it?
Just done at that point.
It's got to be done.
Yeah, I haven't really put any trainer cards for this set because they were all reprints of something else we'd seen. They were all Lilies or
all reprints outside of Breeder and
Sophocles
or fantastic, was it?
No. We had what did we have? We had Sophocles, Ultra Ball. Lily was part of this set, maybe.
Yeah.
Great Ball, I think, was part of this set.
Yeah, and then Breeder.
And then Breeder was the obvious one that didn't have any other version of it anywhere else, I think.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah. And then kind of the last little bit is just some of the promo cards that we'll be losing. The Tapu Bulu GX that I mentioned earlier with the Vika Vault, I played that deck for far longer than I should have done, like admittedly, but I just loved it. It was great fun.
Yeah, the Shining Liga and obviously the Tapu Koko deck there. Obviously the Malamar spread deck that utilised both of those Pokemon very well. And got a lot of points for that deck this season.
Yeah,
a lot of points. That's all going, which is kind of upsetting.
Yeah, I put Snorlax GX on here as well because that was the first GX card we ever saw. It was in a promo box at some point. I think around the Evolution set time. It was kind of the bridge between the two.
When everyone was playing Xerneas with the Regirock, wasn't it? You could just ninja boy into it.
Yeah. It was crazy.
Kind of broken. It was absolutely awful. Like absolutely awful.
Yeah.
But people were doing it.
At the time, it was just strong and solid.
Wasn't it?
Pulverizing Pancake GX for 210.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, but again, like even stuff like the little Lurantis that has seen play here and there as well recently with like Alolan eggs and stuff like that. Just a damage modifier there. I always thought
pretty insane.
I always thought the fire type of that ability would have seen a bit more play, but it never did.
Yeah, I think we lost the. I imagine it probably saw a little bit of play when they had the old Flareon. It turned things fire, which I imagine was okay. You could do a lot of things with that, but now it's just not worth anything, is it?
So now we come on to what we were talking about earlier on, going forward. So obviously our next set that comes out in just like a matter of weeks now really is the Unbroken Bonds with all the incredible crazy fire support stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
So
and just some insane supporters, and like just some of the cards in that set are just insane.
Yeah,
like easily one of the better sets we've had for a while.
Yeah, I think just everything, isn't it? Like Pokemon and like you say, supporters and trainers and things like that, and the triple acceleration energy that comes in this set as well.
Yeah, because we really needed that.
but I mean, it's there. It's a good card. It's gonna change decks. It's going to change the way some things are built, so it's going to improve the consistency of some decks as well. So, but I mean, is there any cards or particular deck or archetype you're looking forward to for Unbroken Bonds?
Porygonzi.
Porygonzi. Is that the one just with?
I like anything that lets you attach, like attaching one energy per turn, even though it's in the rules, just feels so upsetting to me now.
Yeah.
After playing Malamar for ages, it's just like I can attach more than one energy. Fantastic, definitely playing that. And using it with Acerola while we can.
Yeah, and just you play that as a tag team box kind of deck, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, you
Yeah.
just play sort of some of the good tag teams and just pick whichever attacker is best for the matchup and just go, okay, take a prize, take a prize. Oh, I'm damaged. Acerola, attach all my energy. Take a prize, take a prize. Great fun.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to the Baby Blounds myself. I really like the standard Blounds deck, so Baby Blounds and only giving away single prizes seems quite exciting.
Yeah, for sure. That deck's insane.
And then the other one we'd sort of talked about is the Unified Minds being the world set, so that comes legal the day after this big rotation we're talking about now all happens.
Yes, God, that's going to be interesting. So we only get like a month and a half to obviously once we sort of find out the full set list, and then we obviously start testing for Worlds, and obviously like the Washington Open, we assume that's going to happen, and that's just going to be a quite a fun one, I imagine.
Yeah, it's going to
Testing
be
for Worlds with a new format, which just means it's more diverse as well, because everyone's going in with the same knowledge. It's not like what usually happens is the Japanese get sort of I think it's like a month, 1 to 2 months ahead of us.
Yeah, something
and
like that.
they absolutely know absolutely everything, so they come in with like a fully understanding the meta and absolutely everything, whereas we come in with a few weeks testing, whereas not everyone's going to be on the same foot. But that day one of Worlds will just be an absolute bloodbath, whereas day two will be sort of they'll see what's going on day one and really sort of like make adjustments and make decisions.
Yeah,
I imagine day two will be quite nice to see.
yeah, I think it'll be a bit more
game,
stable, won't it, on day two? I imagine.
Yeah, and bringing search back into the game obviously rewards better players as well.
Yeah.
So I expect to see a lot more players up the top that you used to see that were sort of very much sort of the search oriented players that were just sort of, as long as you're searching the correct cards, you know what you're doing, you're going to win.
Yeah.
Because obviously you can't just draw and get lucky now.
And just
you have to plan ahead and you have to know.
Absolutely. Thinking ahead and being one step ahead of your opponents and playing the mind games is going to be a big part of the format or the way the game is played.
Absolutely. And obviously that Lieutenant Surge is just going to change it slightly as well.
Absolutely. I mean, we'll come on to that now, shall we? So we chucked this little slide together just with some cards to look out for, some things that we thought would be interesting. So Carl, I'm going to start here with this Dunsparce that you insisted went on this. What's the...
Yes. So the old Dunsparce, back when we had the original Dunsparce, it was a case of you could just strike and run and just set up behind a Dunsparce.
Yeah.
And it meant whenever the Dunsparce died, whatever you promoted, you'd had access to stuff like a double rainbow energy, scramble energy, and the power hand extension. You had so many cards that were only active if you was behind.
Yeah.
And we're coming back into that. So stuff like Lieutenant Surge, as an example, is you have to be behind to do anything with it.
Yeah.
And the Dunsparce just means, okay, it's there until it dies.
Yeah,
and then
so they have to deal with it
just start
at some point.
Swinging. Absolutely. And it speeds up everything. So instead of needing Elm's Lecture, for example, if you're playing Pokemon that have got higher HP and need that, just get them on the bench, whack them down. It's a case of, okay, I'm going to get this, and I'm going to switch into Jirachi, as an example.
Yeah.
So it'd be good to see.
And I mean, the other thing with the Dunsparce, obviously, with the whole, you're going to have to go through it at some point. If we lose Guzma, we don't get a replacing Gustin effect. It might be a case that people do have to go through it.
Yeah, for sure. So you're going to have to kill it sooner or later.
They're going to have to put you in the range of counter energies and, well, no, we lose counter energy, but LT Surge and things like that. So
yeah, for sure.
They're going to put you in range of those. The other one I mentioned earlier was the triple boost, triple acceleration energy, whatever we're calling it when it gets translated. Obviously DC's going, so that's gonna be interesting. Like you say, only using it on evolutions and only using it for a turn, and then it gets discarded. Means you can only attach it exactly when you need it.
Yeah, and you have to be super careful when you're attaching it, because obviously we lose Gardevoir as well now, so we've got no special energy recovery. Gardevoir was our only way to recover special energy.
Absolutely. I mean, Gardevoir would have absolutely loved this card, right?
Yeah, for sure. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
Just like, oh, here's an extra 90 damage whenever I want it.
Yep. Insane. Elm's Lecture and Brock's Grit, kind of cards that haven't particularly seen play. Obviously, Elms did a little bit when we first lost Bridget, but then we kind of went to the Lily Nest Balls kind of builds for things like Zoroark, so that could come back for. I know Malamar was a deck we mentioned for getting your little NKs out.
Elms just gets you like triple NK, which is broken, or failing that, you've got Dunsparce that gets you NKs and Jirachi.
Yeah.
Which is okay. And obviously, there's more cards there that can obviously be sort of like better as it goes on, depending on the amount of mirror matches you intend to sort of face and you see and you expect to face. Then obviously, Friend Ball could be really good. If there's a lot of generic setting up cards, then stuff like Friend Ball comes very good, because if your opponent goes first and they get their setup, you can just Friend Ball and then go card for card.
Yeah. And then the netball being one of the only other balls that we'll have left, getting all those grass types. Might be used, might not. Doesn't see a whole lot of play at the moment outside of things like maybe Alolan eggs.
Venusaur's
like Venusaur.
Venusaur seems really good for it, but obviously with the amount of fire support we get, a low and muck just seems a lot better right now.
Yeah.
And it also means you can play stuff like Green Search all the time, because you're not you haven't got the Shaman's Bench, which is turning off Green Search. So Alolan and Muck's sort of the GX thing seems a little bit better right now.
Yeah. Yeah. I really like the Green Search card as well. I think that is absolutely insane.
Busted.
Payoff a few, yeah. The payoff being that you can't play abilities, but I think it's going to open a lot of.
The most insane thing is like Lieutenant Surge's example. So you can Lieutenant Surge and you can Green Search, taking a Green Search and a trainer card.
Yep.
And then Green Search again for another 2 cards. It's just like, oh, okay, why not?
Blounds with many beast rings, dude. That's what I'm calling it.
Yeah.
You just guarantee to hit them all.
Insane. Absolutely insane.
Yeah. So I think that just about wraps it all up, doesn't it? I think that's, unless you can think of anything else you wanna mention.
No. Obviously, look, we're speculating a lot here about obviously the sort of cards are going to come out in certain sets. Like we might get reprints of certain things. We might just get completely new cards entirely. Like World could just be one of the worst worlds we've ever had.
Yeah.
Or it could be one of the best worlds we've ever had. We really just need to wait and find out.
Yeah, it's a huge move from Pokemon, right? To just cut it all.
But there's no way they'd cut this many things without giving us some super, super spicy things coming up. Because they don't do things without reason. They're quite calculated how they do things, so they make sure things are measured before they sort of implement any bans or anything like that. So you can imagine they've tested some of this new stuff coming out, and they've just said, no, look, there's so many combos here that we just can't allow in the game.
Yeah. I think combos we've talked about as well are like the Hunch Crow, Unfair GX Exodia kind of lines that are available, that would have been available for Worlds format.
Or even like stuff like Zoroark as an example, like being able to just stamp your opponent down to 2 cards, then rockets them, and then but you're continuing to draw all your cards because of Zoroark.
Yeah.
That just seems really. That's just a really good comeback card. Like we need more good comeback cards.
Yeah, I'd agree with that as well. I think since N we lost N obviously last summer, and I think nothing has really replaced that quite the same way. So yeah, no, I'd agree with that. More comeback cards, definitely. Like, I think the counter cards were probably intended to be better comeback cards than they ever played out to be. Things like Counter Energy, Counter Catcher.
Yeah, Counter Game and Counter Game and that as well. It's just not too fantastic, is it?
No, but I always thought when they were first released, I thought they'd see more play than they eventually did. They never really lived up to what I thought they were going to.
Yeah, for sure.
So anyway, we'll wrap it up before we carry on too long. So we've been Sam and Carl of NCG, and yeah, this has been a quick look at the rotation that has been announced today by Pokemon. So hopefully we'll see you soon. EUIC coming up, so we'll catch you guys all there. Good night.